Hey, I'm Terry with Everything Homestead. Do you have a problem with mice in your shop, your garage, or even your house? If you watch this video to the end, you probably will solve that problem, whether it's mice or rats. So, to give you a little bit of a history on my situation, I grew up out in the country in a really old farmhouse. This old farmhouse had endless entrances for mice to get in. And so I developed a hatred for mice at a very young age. Try to fall asleep and you've got mice going through the walls, up in the ceilings and stuff like that. They chew on anything. They chew on woodwork, wires, which can not be good. They smell, and they invite all their friends for the party. So I hate them with a passion. Rats are a close second for me. I have some feed that I store in some buildings, and if they know there's feed on the other side of the wall, they'll chew the rubber gaskets under the garage doors to get in, wreck the gasket. They'll chew through wood walls to create a hole. If they know there's food on the other side, they're getting in there. And not only do they make a mess with your walls and your doors and all that stuff, they're thieves. They'll come through in your shop here, and they'll come in, they'll say, "Oh, that's a nice spark plug, I'm gonna take that." And they do that with just about anything. Anything they can carry in their mouth, they'll take off with it. So you'll come out in your shop the next day and it's like, where'd that go? I hate them. So I'm going to share with you my 3 most successful ways of catching these things. I've been trapping these most of my life. And so I've developed a few good strategies to get rid of them. So in this particular building that I'm in is my shop that I work on stuff. And there's a lot of stuff in here, and there's a lot of perfect places for mice to hide. I could catch a mouse whenever I wanted to. If I can keep the bait on the traps, I could catch a mouse. A lot of times they'll come in and lick the bait off, I'll miss them, but I'll eventually catch them in a pretty short order, but there's so many of them. I could catch whenever I wanted to give it a shot and put some time at it, I can catch them. My third technique I'm going to show you, I just started about a little over 7 weeks ago, and since I've done that, I've had 0 mice and rats come through here. Well, there's a lot of ways to catch them or kill them. There's the poisons you can put out. When you put the poisons out there, you got to make sure you don't have any of your pets coming around the poisons. You got to make sure you don't have any little kids around the poisons. If the mice do eat the poison, but then they run off and die someplace where you can't find them, and then it stinks for X number of weeks, 3-4 weeks. It smells like a dead carcass in your shop, in your home, or wherever you put the stuff. So I really don't like to do that kind of stuff either. There's some sticky traps. I've had them before, and sticky traps I've had where the mouse will come up and put one paw in there, or 1 foot in there, wherever they are, and then they'll take off with the trap. And the rats will come in, they'll step in a sticky trap too, and not that it's meant for them, but they'll step on it and it's gone. You won't see that sticky trap again. They'll take the trap, and then they'll go off someplace, and then they'll eat the trap. So that doesn't work for me. So there are different ways. There's the little spring-loaded trap ones and plastic ones that make them crawl inside of it, and it catches them. The best trap of all those is just a simple old trap. And this is my number 1 of the 3 that I'm going to show you. Now, this is the most obvious, but there are ways to make this work even better, probably increase your catch rate by probably 10-fold by doing a couple of these things that I'll show you here. And so it's just a simple thing. You put the bait on the trigger, and once they come in and they nibble on that, this little lever flips back, this comes around, snaps them, you got them. But most of the time I've had problems with, you put your bait on here, and then they'll come in, and I don't know how they do it, but they come in and they'll just lick it off. They'll lick the bait off, they'll get the bait off there, and they won't set the trap off. So here's what you can do. The best bait you can use, peanut butter. I've used a lot of different things, cheese. Peanut butter is the best because, I'll show you why. You look at these triggers on these traps. See, there's a hole there. There's a hole going through this way. The peanut butter, you can take your little knife or whatever you're using to apply it, push it in there, push it down in that hole, and so they've really got to work to get this peanut butter out of here. They don't just come up and lick it. They actually have to push on this to get that out. Another thing I like to do is with these traps, you know, aside from pushing that peanut butter down in there, all those holes, make them work for it, I actually you got this little lever here that holds onto the trigger. I put a little peanut butter on this too. And then so when they come in there, and if they just happen to get their little tongues in there and clean that sucker dry, you know, let them play with this a little bit. Get that peanut butter off here, because if that comes off, you got them that way too. And so that works really well, doing that with the peanut butter. And if you still have problems with it, here's another thing you can do. They like to travel along the edges or corners where the wall meets the floor. So put these there usually. If you put it out in the middle of the room, a lot less chance of the mouse even finding it. But put this right up near the corner where the floor meets the wall. Another thing you can do sometimes is I'll take 2 or 3 of these and I'll put 1, 2, 3, I'll put them right in a row, or I'll put them back to back. I've done that many times. A lot of times they'll come around and there's usually 2 or 3 mice together even, so you might even get 2, 3 mice in one shot there, but they'll snap here. Sometimes they'll set it off. They'll set it off and it doesn't get the mouse, so they'll come back around and they hit the other trap. Numerous times I've caught a mouse, sometimes 2 mice, in a multi-trap situation. These things are cheap, easy to come by. Put them side by side, it's irresistible for them. That was number 1. Number 2, this is the one I've had really good success with, and you may have seen it on YouTube before, or someone else may have had this thing, but it's the old bucket trap. 5-gallon pail, set that there. It's just a 5-gallon pail. You fill it with water up to, you know, right about 4 or 5 inches on the inside. I drilled a hole on both sides, and then I ran a wire through there. Drilled a hole on the bottom of the can, run the wire, I bent the wires to keep it from slipping through here, through the can, out the other side, bent the other side, and so this can will just sit there and spin. So then I've got the entrance for this bucket. It's just a long stick. I put a nail in the back there. That's just something to hook on here so it doesn't fall off. So they come up the ramp. Let me put you in the mind of a mouse. Walking along through Terry's shop, looking for something to eat. Oh look, Terry left me some peanut butter on the end of the stick. It's my lucky day. Let me eat that. So they eat that and they're like, oh wait, what's that I smell? Oh, there's a little more peanut butter here? Oh, that's awesome. Oh wait, oh there's more peanut butter? You know, the mouse is just thinking this is the greatest thing ever. And it gets up to the top, there's more peanut butter? And then the mouse comes up here. Mouse gets up to here and the mouse can't believe its eyes. Look at all that peanut butter right there. And so it'll walk along the rim and it's like, how am I supposed to get that? So then it'll jump over here. It'll slip on there, fall in the water, drowned, gone. I've had great success with this. I've had mornings, they usually do all their activity at night. And the mornings I've come out, I've had one time where I caught 5 mice in one night. And they don't learn from each other's mistakes. They all crawl up there and plop in, crawl up there and plop in. This works really well for rats too, but if you're gonna use it for rats, you maybe fill it a couple more inches in depth. Because the whole idea is that they can't stand off the bottom and survive. And so this works really well. In the wintertime, if you're using this, though it gets below 0, the water will freeze. And so the thing that I do is I just take a little bit of antifreeze, just enough to dump it in there and keep it from freezing. Otherwise, it's a chunk of ice, the mice fall in, they'll land on top of the ice, they'll jump back out again. A little bit of antifreeze works great. And I always like to say, keep your pets away from this scenario, but if you've got pets in the area, they're gonna come and lick the peanut butter off. So you're probably not gonna have this where you're gonna have your pets, so the antifreeze probably won't be a problem either. This too, The can go wherever you want it in the building, but I like to have the end down in the corner. Even in, if I can, the corner of the building altogether. I'll put this right down in the corner of the building where it's like an intersection for mice so they can find this. The last thing I'm going to show you for getting rid of this problem works for mice and rats. I've been using it for the last a little over 7 weeks now, and I can't believe I haven't thought of this before. But if I'm in the shop here working on my bench and I'm talking, whatever, there's no mouse that's gonna sit here and listen to me. It's gonna be scared because I'm sitting here jabbering around and stuff like that. So here's what I do. Well, when I'm in the shop, and this is also very entertaining too, while I'm in the shop, I turn the radio on. Then when I leave the shop, I leave it on all night long. That's it. Works great. I haven't had any rats. I haven't had any mice. I've had these traps out. Loaded with the peanut butter for the whole 7 weeks. Haven't even touched the peanut butter. So that's how I know there's no mice in here. Because if they're in here, they'll eat this right off the bat. This works great. Plus, I mean, I'm pretty sure that the mice don't like classic rock. I haven't tried country or polka. If it was polka, I mean, I wouldn't be out here if it was polka. It deters humans too sometimes. But try this out. Let me know in the comment section. Have you tried this before? Does it work? There's some people that say they'll get acclimated to the music and come back anyway. Maybe, but this time of year is the time of year they come in. They like to find a shelter. And I haven't had any mice here. And trust me, I've got a lot of hiding places for them. Please subscribe, share this video. I know you know someone who doesn't like mice. If you do, please share this video with them. It's going to help out my channel, and it'll help out the person. They'll appreciate it. I can guarantee you. Thanks for watching.